You know what's amazing about Prizm, though? I don't know anybody who collects it either. It's amazing that that has become the most sought-after product of the year, the trendsetter, the baseline for everything. I don't know what anybody actually does with Prizm. What?
What's happening, YouTube? It's Simon466 Cards, and today we're gonna talk about Prizm and how it became Panini's flagship product. That clip you heard was from Mike Gio from the Sports Cards Nonsense podcast. I'd like to thank friend of the channel at this point. Anyways, I have a theory as to how Prizm became the flagship. I would love to hear your theories because this one I'm not as certain about. I have a couple of theories here that I'm gonna throw out there, but by no means is this the be all and end all. This is definitely something where someone might know better than me. So I'm open to suggestions because I wasn't around in 2012. I'm just being honest with you guys. So let's jump into history back to 2012 when this product was first launched. And when it was first launched, it was not expected to be a popular product from what I've heard and just what I'm about to show you now. So 2012 Prizm was, as you can see on the screen here, the first Chromium product that had been produced since Topps stopped making basketball cards. And just so you know, I'm getting all this information from Cardboard Connection. Shout out to them. Back then, a box of 2012 Prizm only cost $100. You can see here in red. It's crazy to think about now, but it was only $100 a box. And if you're wondering, for context, is that expensive for 2012 or not? Well, a box of 2012 contenders was $120 per box. And so being priced at $100, it's pretty obvious that it wasn't expected to be this big flagship product, the it product from Panini. And so that begs the question, how did we get there? How did Panini make a product that eventually became a flagship when it wasn't designed to be, I believe, when Prizm was first created in 2012? And so let's go back in history a little bit. Let's go look at all of the NBA product releases from Panini in 2012. You can see it on your screen. And I believe Prizm's rise is at least partially because it just has the longevity, the history, the provenance of 12 years of history. All the sets you see here on the list here, in red are the sets that still exist in 2024. It's not a lot. It's Hoops, Contenders, Flawless, Immaculate, National Treasures, Prizm, Select. That's it. There's no more Crusade, Intrigue, Limited, Marquee, Momentum. None of these things exist. And so, or maybe Threads exist. I could be wrong there. But you get the point, right? And so, right off the bat, like Hoops is too low end of a product to be considered flagship. Contender, sure, maybe. And then we have Prizm and Select. And I do believe in an alternate universe, Select might have become what Prizm actually is in terms of being the flagship product. However, for whatever reason, Panini did not make a Select football in 2012. And so I think there's also a sense of being able to go back in history and having that longevity in both of Panini's major sports. And so that's why Select is out the window. And so then you're really left with Hoops, Contenders, Flawless, Immaculate, National Treasures, and Prizm. Hoops, we're throwing out the window. Contenders, not really a Chromium product. So that's, I believe, how Panini Prizm became a product for the people, by the people, or whatever you want to call it, because it's not supposed to be a high-end product, right? It's not Flawless, Immaculate, National Treasures. Its history started off, you saw $100 a box. It started off as an obtainable product that was available to everybody and anybody who wanted to buy a box. It's not going to outprice you out of the market. And so as a result, Prizm is this card, is this set where it makes everybody feel like they have a small chance, very small chance, to hit a good product hit, like a gold out of 10 or a 1 of 1, because everybody can afford it. And so that means everybody's got a chance. And it's like this everyman product, right? It's for the everyman hobbyist. It's not like National Treasures, Flawless, Immaculate. So that's, I believe, how we got to Prizm building up that brand is that it has the longevity and the history and the provenance of going back to 2012. And it's a nice chromium product, and it's not one of these other high-end products that seems a little bit out of reach for most people. It's the product that everybody thinks they have a shot of getting, and as a result, everybody wants to have it, right? Nobody thinks they have a shot of getting a National Treasures logo man, right? And so that's how I believe we got here. And then investors entered the market, right? So as people started being interested in Prizm, because it was, again, like this everyman product, and it had a nice shiny design and all that kind of stuff, right? People started valuing it because people wanted it, right? And anytime you have something of value, investor types will enter the market, whether that's a business like cards, art, whatever, right? There's always going to be these flippers, investors. They're always going to be looking for another opportunity to make money. And so that's when the investors enter the market, when people saw Prizm as being this, thing that people covet a little bit more than other products. And so as a result, when investors enter the market, then more people want Prizm. And to create this self-perpetuating loop, that's how it happens. People wanted Prizm. That means Prizm has value. Investors see things that have value, then they want to get involved in the market and be a flipper, investor, whatever you want to call it. And that leads to more people wanting Prizm. And then that means that Prizm has more value because people want it. And then that means more investors enter the market, and so on and so forth, right? And that's, I believe, how we got here. It's like I don't have a big theory, but those two things I just talked about, this self-perpetuating loop, and also the previous point about the history going back to 2012 and being a nice shiny card. And so a question here is Prizm the Panini flagship product because people want Prizm? Or is Panini the flagship, or is Prizm the Panini flagship product because people see other people wanting it, and as well they want it? But do they actually really want it, or do they just want it because other people want it? And I don't know. That's a theory I have. I think that there's definitely something to it. And I'll be honest, when I re-entered the hobby, I guess is a better way to say it, I was told Prizm. You gotta get Prizm. Like, what are you doing? You're a Joel Embiid fan. You should get his Prizm rookie card. That's just what I was told. And so if I'm being told that, then everybody else is being told that. Various YouTube channels are telling people that, and it becomes this self-perpetuating loop. But there's one other question I have for you. Remember this description I just had about a couple minutes ago? Prizm is not supposed to be a high-end product. It's supposed to be an obtainable product that's available to everybody. It's supposed to be for the everyman hobbyist. Well, here's the one lingering question I have about Prizm today. It's not supposed to be a high-end product. Well, it's $800, $900 a box now. So it's kind of is a high-end product. And so it's not obtainable to everybody anymore. And I really don't feel like it's the product for the everyman hobbyist anymore. And so what happens when the thing that made Prizm doesn't apply anymore? It's now a higher end product. It is now not available to everybody at the price point. Doesn't really feel like a product for every person to collect. I don't know, but it seems a little bit problematic for me. That's the end of this video. I would love to hear your comments both on my theory and on other theories that you may have, how we got here, how Prizm is what it is today. The next video does continue on with this idea of Prizm, but it's a very different way to tackle this topic, this idea of Prizm. It's about ripping Prizm, actually, which I know I've made a video talking about how you should never rip Prizm. It's not worth the money. It's a money-losing venture. Well, what if I told you maybe there is a Prizm box out there that is worth ripping? That's what I want to talk about next time. We're going to talk about 2018 Prizm Basketball and why maybe, just maybe, there might be a logical and mathematical and analytical reason why you should buy it and rip it. But only if you're feeling lucky. That's it for this video. Thank you, as always, for listening and watching, and I will talk to you all soon. Cheers.